It's time for Kids Corner! Yay!
Hey, now wait a minute. There's kids in there. How'd you get in there anyway? Oh, it looks awfully crowded to be all crowded up there inside that camera. Oh well. Hey, I've got an important question for you out there in Kids Corner. Here's my question. I've been thinking about this all day and I just can't come up with a good answer. What's this? What is that? You know what it is? See, I don't know either, but there it goes again. I don't know either. Matter of fact, you know what this is either? I think it's a herd of these. But do you know what this is? Yeah, see, that's a dead herd of these. Or, most importantly, this one right here, that's a spider doing push-ups on a mirror. I know that's not worth laughing at. Hey, really though, I have an important question for you guys. Why should you obey your mom and dad? Why should you obey them? What I want you to do right now, before we talk about it at all, I want you to pause the video and I want you to answer that question with your mom and dad. Why should you obey your mom and dad? Okay, on your mark, get set, go, not go, pause. All right, I hope you've paused. If you haven't paused, you got to pause and go back. But if you paused, you should have answered the question with your mom and dad, why should I obey? Now, I want to think about that question a little bit too. Here's another question. What would you like to be when you grow up? Maybe you'd like to be some things that a lot of kids would like to be, some very brave jobs, like a fireman or a policeman. Or maybe you really like the thought of helping people and you would like to be a doctor or a nurse. Or maybe you really like to build things and put things together and you could do car mechanics or work as a construction builder. Or maybe you really like to think a lot and you could be a teacher or something like that. Well, whatever the job is, there's certain things that job has to do. If you're a doctor or a nurse, you help sick people feel better. If you're a fireman, you put out fires. If you're a policeman, you help keep people safe. What would you think about a firefighter who didn't want to put out fires? That wouldn't be a very good fireman, would it? What would you think about a police officer who wouldn't arrest anybody? Now that wouldn't be a very good policeman, would it? No, that wouldn't be a good policeman at all. But that is part of their job. A fireman puts out fire, a policeman helps keep people safe, and sometimes that means he needs to arrest some people. You have a special job as well. One day you might do one of those types of jobs, and one day you might also have the job of being a husband or a wife. You might have the job of being a parent, a mom or a dad. But right now, you have the job of being a kid. And that's a pretty special job. God tells you in His Word in Ephesians chapter 6, some of you can probably quote this. Children, do what? Obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. That's the job that God has given you. And so, when you do your job very, very well, just like the policeman can keep people safe, just like the fireman can put out a fire, and the doctor and nurse can help somebody feel better, when you obey mom and dad, you are doing the job that God very specially gave to you. That's pretty special. All right, that's reason number one. Why should I obey mom and dad? Well, because that's the special job that God has given you to do. All right, there's a second reason, and there's another question that comes with this reason. I'm going to show you some things, and I want you to think about what they all have in common. Something's the same about all of these things. Let's see. I've got a pair of work gloves. Okay, if I were working outside with big sticks or with rocks or something like that, I might put these on so I don't get my hands all beat up. Let's see. Okay, might have to take these off and put them back on in a minute. Okay. Let's look in here. Oh, I haven't seen one of these in a while. These are earplugs. Oh boy. Maybe I'll put those in a minute. Okay. And a couple other things. A pot holder. So far we've got a pot holder, gloves, earplugs. What do these all have in common? Socks. Hold the fries, it says. A hamburger but no fries. This has something in common with all those other things? I don't know. And a nice hat. Okay, you could use that if you were an explorer. And then a jacket. Okay. Something that these all have in common. Let me get them all on here so we can think about that. We got a jacket. We got a hat. We got, now, I can't show you my feet right now because I'd have to like stand on my head for that to happen. We'll just, there we go. You can imagine my feet. There you go. And there we go. I'm going to go ahead and put these in. Okay. All right. What's that? No, you're going to have to talk louder. Huh? What's that? Oh, now, okay, wait, no, I still can't. Oh, that's right, that's because this is a video. Okay, all right. So we got earplugs, and we got gloves, and we got a pot holder. All of these have something in common. Now here's another chance to pause the video and take some time to talk around, maybe with your brothers and sisters, your mom and dad. What do you think all of these have in common? Pause the video. Okay, I hope you paused it and you came back. Maybe you've got some ideas. Let's think about this. A pot holder can help me if I'm getting something very hot out of the oven. It makes sure that I don't burn my hands. It protects me from burning my hands. These gloves protect me if I'm working outside with rough sticks or big rocks. And this hat can protect me if it's super sunny outside and I might get a sunburn on my head, or if it's raining, it'll protect me from the rain. And the earplugs can protect me if I'm working outside with a big piece of machinery, or if there's somebody that's right next to me that's singing just way too loud. I don't have anybody coming to mind that would sing too loud, but maybe there's somebody like that you know. The socks protect my feet from getting dirty, and the jacket protects me when I'm cold. All of these things protect me. Now, there's something that all of these things have in common with your parents, too. God says that obeying your parents is a commandment that comes with a promise. God gave a promise with that command. And what he promises is that obedience to your parents is a type of protection for you. Sometimes it's very, very obvious how obeying your parents is a protection for you. You might be starting to do something that's very dangerous. Maybe running around in a parking lot. Ooh, that's not safe. Maybe crossing the street without looking. Oh, that's not safe. Maybe playing somewhere where you could fall and be hurt, that's not safe. Or playing with something that could hurt you, that's not safe. And obeying your parents would keep you safe there. But also, when you disobey your parents and decide that you want to do things your way instead of God's way, oh, there's something that hurts you much more than just falling and scraping your knee or something like that. It hurts you deep, deep on the inside. Because disobeying your parents is one way that we sin against God. And sin separates us from God. Maybe you could do that with your hands and it'll help you remember. Sin separates us from God. And also, because God is holy and just and right, He can't ignore sin. And so that sin that separates us from God has to be punished. That's why Jesus died on the cross. And you need to trust what Jesus did on the cross for you. And you need to trust Him not just as the big boss of the whole world, but the boss of your life as well. So obeying your parents, God promises, is a protection for you. So 2 reasons. It's your very special job that God has given you. Also, it protects you. And I have another question that's going to help us get to the final reason that you should obey your mom and dad. Here's my question for point number 3. What is something that you could do for your mom and dad or give to your mom and dad that would really make them very happy? Pause the video and spend some time talking about that. Did you pause it? Okay, maybe somebody said, Mom and Dad really like it when I give them a hug. Maybe somebody said, Mom and Dad really like it when I do my chores without having to be asked. Maybe somebody said, Mom would really like it if for Mother's Day here in a few weeks I brought her breakfast in bed. Something like that. Jesus said, if you love me, keep my commandments. Now, your parents love you. And if your parents are doing things Jesus' way, you're not going to be able to get your parents to love you more, love you less by the things that you do. And it's the same way with God. In fact, God does that perfectly, even though we parents don't always do that perfectly. There's nothing that you can do to make God love you any more or to love you any less. But there are things that you can do to show God that you love Him. And there's also things that you can do that show God that maybe you don't love Him as much as you should. And that's something that we all need to keep growing in. Loving Him more and obeying because we love Him. So there's 3 reasons that you should obey your mom and dad. Really, these are all reasons that help you obey Jesus. You obey mom and dad because it's a very special job that God has given just for you. You obey mom and dad because it protects you. And you obey mom and dad because that's the way that you show that you love God. Remember the song? You've sung it before. Sing it with me now, because now you understand what it means that obedience is the very best way to show that you believe that God has gotten things right and that Jesus would have you to obey mom and dad and trust what He did on the cross for you. You ready? Here we go. Obedience is the very best way to show that you believe. Doing exactly what the Lord commands, doing it happily. Action is the key, do it immediately. Joy you will receive. Obedience is the very best way to show that you believe, and you spell it O-B-E-D-I-E-N-C-E. I-E-N-C-E, yes sir! Obedience is the very best way to show that you believe. All right, thank you so much for listening to Kids Corner, and we'll see you next time.